Hello, you beautiful creatures. How the devil are you? I hope you're okay. It feels like forever since I've spoken to you, but it hasn't actually been forever because I uploaded last week. Time is working very strangely at the moment. I think a lot of people will find that with this lockdown. I have a new setup. Yes, I finally got a tripod. I finally got a light as well. Believe it or not, before I got this, I was using my partner's clothes to hold up my phone. So hopefully this is going to look a little bit more professional. It's been crazy. We are in lockdown 2.0. If you remember from my last vlog, we are coming towards the end of it. However, Boris has just announced, well, not just announced, he announced a couple of days ago that we were going to be going back into a tier system. Great, good. And we are in tier 3. Yeah. So that basically means that we're pretty much staying in the same situation, in the same restrictions that we were for the past month. Yay! I'm also aware my nails are chapped and broken, but it's because I've been needle felting and opening up another business and making cute little mice baubles. I will show you those baubles now. Segue. This is what I've been working on, yes. So we've got our cute little mouse. I don't know if you can really see that. There we go. We've got our cute little sleeping mouse inside of his bauble, and I thought they'd be the cutest things to make. And I put them up on Facebook, and within an hour I got about 8 orders, so you can imagine the kind of stress I'm under right now. With that stress as well, obviously I've been doing a lot with my YouTube channel. I've been uploading videos, and this is just another video, and it's all stress central, so I thought this video would be very, very poignant for now. I know a lot of people who've started developing their seasonal depression as well, so this video is going to be about mental health and hopefully positive coping mechanisms that I have developed that have helped me when we found out about lockdown, the tier systems happening again. I had a bit of a panic attack, and I hadn't had a panic attack in such a long time that I actually came out the bathroom and I said to Gareth, I think I'm having a panic attack. My chest was really tight, I couldn't breathe. It had been a really long time since I'd had one, like I said, so I didn't understand what was going on until I was sat down and he was making sure I was okay. So I did have to bring back a couple of my coping mechanisms, and I thought that I would share them with you. I have spoken to a lot of people about it, and they've said that it's helped them, so hopefully it can help you. Hopefully we can have a nice chill ride with it as well. I know there's a massive stigma with talking about mental health, and it really, really frustrates me. The thing that frustrates me is mental health, I believe, should be talked about as casually as, I don't know, a cold, a broken ankle, any other kind of diseases. So a lot of people have said to me that they are amazed that I speak about my mental health so openly. Hasn't always been that way. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of trust in myself, a lot of trust in other people as well. It's not just something that happens overnight, unfortunately. People think it is a thing that happens overnight just from how confident I am talking about it, but you know, it's not. And I really want to share my experiences with you. Disclaimer. Oh my god, I've got a disclaimer. I never thought I'd have a disclaimer in my videos. This is exciting. However, this is very serious. Disclaimer, I just want to throw it out there that this shouldn't be used as if someone's asked you to go and speak to somebody medically, or if you said that you're going to speak to someone professionally about this, you're going to do some research about this. Please don't take this as medical advice. I just want to make a point of saying that like a material face mask during a pandemic. I am not medical grade. This isn't something that I have had to research, unfortunately. I've done a bit of research in the past about how to help myself. However, this is just my personal experiences, passing them on to you. Maybe they'll help, maybe they won't, but please, like I said, don't consider this medical grade conversation, tips, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to cover my own back at the end of the day, and I'm also trying to say that if you need to speak to somebody, if you need to speak to your GP, a doctor or a nurse, please go and do that. Believe it or not, it's one of the best things I ever did. I was diagnosed with depression last year, clinical depression, and I was on the high end level. I did end up going on medication. It was more for my anxiety. I'd been battling with this kind of thing for years. I think it wasn't incredibly early. I wasn't a very small child. I'd say I was going into my teens when I kind of realised that something wasn't right. However, it wasn't until I went to university when I had these conversations with people and realised what normal was, that a lot of situations that I'd had in my past weren't normal. I don't know, I wouldn't really call myself a sheltered child, but at the same time it kind of felt like that. And it really hit me, it really hit me. I had this sudden realisation that everything I knew wasn't right, it was wrong, things weren't healthy, the way I was acting was not healthy. My coping mechanisms then weren't healthy. My mum used to say that I would sleep a lot, and I would. And I now realise that the reason I slept a lot back then when I was at home and when I was at university was because I felt safe when I was sleeping. I felt safe when I was in bed. I didn't feel safe going outside. I used to make this joke actually when I was at university that people would treat me like the Sasquatch because they had to take pictures and get visual evidence that I existed, because it was very rare that I went out and I did things. Like, I was meant to be the vice president of a stand-up society, comedy society, and I couldn't even get out of bed. How ridiculous is that? And I didn't realise until too late that what I was doing wasn't healthy, wasn't right. If I'd have had a video back then with hopefully all this stuff that I'm going to tell you, maybe things would be different. But at the same time, if I hadn't experienced those things, I wouldn't have developed the experience to be able to pass on to you guys. So people say everything happens for a reason, but what do I know? So I've got 10 things. They're not necessarily in an order of importance, but they kind of are. I've got my trusty laptop with me. How exciting. I've called her Ripley after my two favourite female icons, Ripley from Alien and Rhea Ripley. She's a wrestler in WWE NXT. She gives fantastic hugs and she's a very beautiful person, so check her out after this. Okay, so let's start our list. And we're starting off with number 10, sunlight. Yes, I know it sounds, I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous, and I didn't really realise how important sunlight was when I first started trying to make myself better. I just thought it was a very inconvenient ball of light in the sky that was trying to fry me to death. It is not. And I know how easy it can be to just lie in bed and want to be in a dark room. Now, I've been watching a lot of videos about how depression and anxiety can affect your brain, how it can affect your brain matter, this, that and the other. I've had a lot of sources telling me that with depression, unfortunately, if you have it for so long, it will numb your brain down until you feel nothing. Same with light, I think it just numbs your senses down dramatically. You feel unwell, you feel sick. Even if it's a case of you open the curtains. So I found, whilst the days have been getting shorter and seasonal depression is starting to kick in, that just opening the window, opening the curtains helps so much, because my brain can recognize, right, it's daylight now, it's, you know, when I should be awake, and then it recognizes when it's time to go to sleep. So I definitely say sunlight is an important thing. If you are really, really low, and I know that people can get to that place, I've been there, my friends have been there, relatives have been there, so I completely understand where you're coming from if you're turning around to me and saying, but I don't want to go outside. You don't need to. Just opening a window is one of the best things you can do. Honestly, it is. So please don't underestimate the effect that sunlight will have on you. It will make you feel refreshed. Even opening your window as well, it will give you some fresh air as well. I know a room can get incredibly stuffy, and I didn't realise that until I started living on my own. I started going through off days, and I'd go out with Gareth to do some shopping or something, but then I come back and I come into our bedroom and I realise how incredibly stuffy and horrible it was. Dust follicles as well, they made us ill, so please be mindful. Just a little bit of sunlight can make you feel so much better. Number 9, hydrated. I feel like a broken record, I honestly do. In every single video I've done so far, I have mentioned water, and I am surprised that H2O hasn't sponsored me by now, because you know, I am giving a lot of shout outs to that water. Water is, again, so important, not just for your like physical active well-being, for your brain as well. We are predominantly made of water, and if we're depriving ourselves of that, our brain doesn't function as well as it should do. Just drink, even if it's a couple of sips. So you don't have to be drinking big bottles like I am now. I've had to work up to that throughout the year with my weight loss. Even if it is a couple of sips, if you're living off energy drinks, Monster, fizzy drinks like Coke, this, that and the other, it's really not going to help you, and it's not going to help you feel any better. So please consider just having a glass of water by the side of your bed if you are in bed at the moment, and that's the safest place you can feel safe. I found that just by seeing a bottle of water, I will just naturally pick it up and start drinking it. Now I can't cope without water. I really can't cope without water. If I go without water for the first hour that I've woken up, I'm really not good. So please consider drinking a lot of water. Number 8, be physical. It's another one that's easier said than done. There are days where you literally just wake up and you think, what's the point? What is the point? You know, there are days at the moment where I also think, what's the point? But then I think, hang on a minute, I've got this to do, this to do, and this to do, and this to do. When I first moved in with Gareth a couple of years ago, we lived in Norwich, his place of work then. He worked up there. I didn't know anybody, I was terrified, there were some issues back at home, and my brain hadn't really processed it. So I would be waking up at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon because Gareth would be at work all day, and I think, I've got nothing to get up for. I'm so thankful that I had my sister call me and say, you need to get your butt out of bed, because if she didn't, I probably wouldn't have, and I'd probably still be there vegetating and frying in my own sweat. I am so sorry for that mental image. It sounded great in my head, but as soon as the words came out, it was immediately like, why are you torturing these people? You're not at work. I don't torture people at work. Or do I? I digress. Please just, even if you just go for a shower, just freshen yourself up a little bit, or go downstairs or go into another room, maybe have a wander around for a little bit. Please just be active. I have found now that I'm active pretty much every day. So I will do a 25-minute weight training workout, or I will do a 45-minute aerobics workout. And once I've done that, yes, my body absolutely kills. And when I first start doing it, I think, why am I doing this? I really don't want to. One, I've got a goal, and I promised you guys that I would continue to lose weight and I would continue to get better. So that's my main priority. But two, I keep reminding myself that once I've finished that workout, I feel so much better in myself. Your body does release certain chemicals when you are working out, and it does make you feel good. Also feels good when your body is healing itself, and when you see progress as well. So if you are thinking about losing weight or building up muscle, I treat it like a game. So if you play Dungeons and Dragons or any role-playing game, I treat it as leveling up. So every time I do a workout, that's 10 experience or 20 experience, depending how I'm feeling on the day. And then when I start to notice differences in my body, that's when I go up a level. And honestly, I think it's really, really fun. It makes me want to work out. And like I said, you know, my body feels so much better, and I feel so much better in my mind that I've done a workout and it feels great. And yeah, I like to thank myself and I thank my body that I've done it. So like I said, even if you just go into another room, you do a little bit of housework maybe, walking is the best exercise you can do. Mainly if you're starting out your exercise journey as well, because it gets your body into that routine. When Gareth wasn't feeling so great, I use force in the nicest possible way. He's grateful for it, I promise. He'd say otherwise. But I would take him up around where the fields are near where we live, and we'll just do a lap, and it will take about an hour or two, and that's a really nice walk. Maybe find something that isn't too difficult for you to do. If you can't do hills or anything, just find a really flat walking trail. And there's so many places of natural beauty that you can go to. We found so many walks that we can go through, and honestly, it's really nice to explore. It's nice to appreciate nature. It's nice to get out. So maybe if you just look up online and see if there's any nature trails, nature walks around you, maybe try that out. That will really help you out. Consider being a little bit physical, no matter how small it is. We're talking about baby steps at the end of the day. We're not talking about massive milestones, okay? At the end of the day, it's about your comfort and, you know, making sure you're okay in that environment. If there's a lot of people and you're feeling anxious, maybe go for a more quieter walking trail, or just wander around the house, maybe even do a home workout. Because then you're kind of missing people and they're not really bothering you, okay? Number 7, find things that make you happy. My God, it is such a good feeling when you're not feeling necessarily great and you've got a partner who knows what you like, or you know what you like. Of course you know what you like. You're you. Are you you? Are any of us? I don't know. I'm so tired. If you maybe put a list as well of the things that you like, and I don't know, just watch a Disney film or just watch a YouTube video, watch something that will make you happy, or do something that will make you happy. If you've got a pet, go and hang out with that pet. When I used to feel really sad at home, Jess used to be my biggest comfort. She was my cat that's passed away. And I would spend hours and hours and hours outside in the garden just playing with Jess. And honestly, it really cheered me up. You know, they do say that the little things really help you out. So finding the little things, no matter how silly they are, if it's a film, if it's a book, reading is the best. I've only just started reading properly. My best friend, she lives by books. I swear, if you did an autopsy on her, it would just be like pages. That's really dark, but she'd laugh at this, so it's fine. She loves to read all the time and she swears by it. She also suffers with her mental health, and yeah, it really helps her out. So reading, drawing, watching TV, watching a film, speaking to a family member, speaking to a friend, going and chilling with a pet, stuff like that, you know, as long as it's not murder, then do whatever makes you happy, you know. We live in a world now where we're beaten down by so many negative things and people laughing at us for enjoying certain things. Just ignore them. What do they know? They're people. They're people and you're you. So at the end of the day, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then I don't see why you shouldn't be happy. At the end of the day, you deserve it. A lot of people are putting up with a lot of hard things at the moment. You're probably putting up with something super duper hard. That's why you've clicked on this video, or you just want something to listen to whilst you got your warm tootsies in your little slippers and you got a little cup of tea. But that's besides the point. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Don't listen to anybody else because they don't know you like you know you, okay? And that's the most important thing. As long as you're looking after yourself, you do whatever you want to do, Bab. Do things that make you happy. Number 6. Now this has been a lifesaver for myself, for my partner, for my friends. And this is another friend who I mentioned who works at the hospital. I really hope I can introduce her to you. I hope I can introduce all my friends to you one day because they're all amazing, they're all wonderful, and they'll have no choice in the matter and I will make them. But that's besides the point. Again, I should take a drink every time I say that's besides the point, and yeah, I would be a very drunk lady. So my friend, she told me a really great coping mechanism. Her and her partner use it as well to get through a lot of kind of coupley issues like financial things, saving money, this, that and the other. And it's amazing. It's really amazing, and it's so simple. Writing down your problems. So what they do is they will write a mind map down of all the big problems, and then they will write down maybe the smaller problems leading up to the bigger problems. Now if you look at the smaller problems, maybe some of them you can see that they're not exactly problems. They're not exactly worst case scenario things, so you can start to get rid of those small little naggy problems so you can concentrate on the bigger problems, and then maybe look at, right, what do I need to do to solve that problem? What steps do I need to take? Who do I need to talk to? And then you can start building a path to dealing with that problem. Whether it's financial, whether it's home life, whether it's your relationship. Having a visual on your problems can help so much. I don't know about you, but the reason I get overwhelmed quite a lot of the time is because my brain, it feels like, how do I put this to people? There's about 60 odd different scenes of different plays going at the same time. You can't concentrate on one. They're all completely different. They don't correlate in any way whatsoever. And because I'm so busy, like mentally looking at these different things, I can't concentrate. It's like a ball of string. It's like Christmas lights. We'll use that because it's the 28th of November and I will be damned if I don't get festive. It's like Christmas lights. When you bring out those lights at the 1st of December and you've got to put up that Christmas tree, my God, is the most stressful thing you will ever do. It's like Christmas lights. It's just so tangled and entwined and you don't know where to start with it. And that's often my problem. I don't know where to start with things. And that was my problem in the past. So I didn't know where to start with things and I would let it build and build and build and ignore it. That's the worst thing you can do. Ignoring your problems will make them so much worse. Honestly, coming from somebody who knows, do not ignore your problems, because they will get so much bigger than if you'd have dealt with them in the first place. Whether that is mental regression, if you're not feeling great but you're like, oh no, it's fine, and then you've got people asking you, are you okay, more often than not, that's when you know that something's not quite right. So I know this is a segue, but please don't ignore your problems, okay? It's super important. Probably should have put that as number one, but I've got something else for that. Writing your problems down can help you so much to visualize it. It can help to give you clarity with those problems, because suddenly your mind isn't a massive screaming mess, but it's something physical that you can concentrate on. Maybe give it a try. If it works, please write down in the comments that it worked, because I'd really like to know. And if any of this works, then yes, please do let me know. Number 5, be creative. I love to be creative. That's why I started the needle felting thing, because having that physical kind of thing to hold in your hands, right, I don't want to mess with this too much, but the fact that I can look at this and be like, oh wow, I made that, and the fact that somebody wants to buy it off me, it's so fulfilling. Whatever you're into, whether it's writing song lyrics, whether it's writing stories. I used to write stories all the time, and sometimes I would actually manage to entwine how I was feeling and what problems I was having with those stories, so that would really help. Whether it's drawing as well, I know a lot of people like to draw their physical manifestation of depression because they can see it and it's an enemy that they can physically see. I think the most terrifying thing about having this disease is, or whatever you want to call it, is that it's invisible, and that is terrifying, and that's why there's such a massive stigma about it. With a broken ankle, or with a rash, with a sore eye, you can see it, and so people take it more seriously, and that's why there's, people kind of laugh at the notion of depression and, oh, is it even real? Well, yeah, it is. If you look online, there are brain scans of people who have depression, and the brain activity is terrifying. It's really not good. If you're interested, look it up. But they've got a picture of somebody with normal brain activity and someone with depression, as well as someone with ADHD, schizophrenia. So all these fake illnesses, they aren't really fake, are they? I digress. I was getting really angry about that one. And it might even help you to see a physical manifestation of your problem. So drawing is another good one. Anything creative, really. Painting is meant to be so freeing. I see a lot of people, and it was in the Crawling music video. Was it Crawling or Numb? Where that girl just got this massive tub of paint and she was just slashing that paint onto a canvas, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and it was beautiful, and I was like, yes, that's how I feel. It works, okay? Also makeup, doing different looks. That's probably why my eyes look like a mess today, because I'm trying to be creative, but I got nothing. Doing makeup tutorials as well, doing special effects makeup. You can get so creative with that. I might actually do some videos about that at some point. I know a few bits and pieces, but the fact that I've got all these different outlets, so I do draw, I do write stories, I do write poetry, I do create needle felted little creations. I have created that over the years. Okay, so just look back over the years and see what you enjoyed doing and it will help you so much. It helps you to feel like you've done something as well, even if you haven't been super productive in that day. So I can just, I don't know, chill on the sofa, and then I feel sad because I haven't really done anything. If I just do a little bit of needle felting, I feel so much better because I feel productive and I feel like I've progressed in something. And you never know, it might turn into something else. So the needle felting thing I originally did because I was feeling down and because I wanted to do something. Now I've got 8 people wanting certain things that I've made. You know, that I can't get over how proud I am of myself for doing that. And I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. And it fills me with so much confidence and so much joy that people want something that's a product of me trying to make myself feel better. It really makes me feel happy. So please give it a try. Even if you can't necessarily draw, or you're not the best writer, or you're not the best DIY person, it doesn't matter. It's a skill you can learn, and it's a journey at the end of the day. Journeys are so amazing, and so is the band. But journeys are so amazing, and I can guarantee you that if you start a journey now with that kind of thing and see yourself in a year's time, you will be so proud of yourself. Particularly during this lockdown as well. I know a lot of people who have just felt like they need to sit and do nothing because that's all they can do. No, you don't need to do that, okay? You can just pick up these things and develop something, okay? So use your time wisely and it will make you feel so much better. Number 4, set goals. I can't stress again how important this is. I'm also aware that I'm saying important a lot, and that I'm dragging this video on, so I'll start wrapping this up quite quickly. Setting goals has really helped me. We have a goal that we want to be out of this house. I also have a goal that I want to have a certain amount of subscribers by the end of this year. I want to have made a certain amount of sales, and because I've got those things to work on, to concentrate on, my mind hasn't got time to make me second guess everything and make me feel not so great. Yes, I do still have my down days, but once I see how many things I've got to work towards, it makes me feel so much better. It makes me feel so much more productive. Again, when we lived in Norwich and Gareth was at work, I didn't have any work at that time because I didn't really know the town, the city. I was panicking, I was freaking out, and I had nothing to get up for. And it's the most lost I'd felt in a very long time. And it has taken a couple of years. It's, you know, I'm really happy with where I work and what I'm doing, but I want to do more for myself. And when I started deciding that I was going to create goals for myself, I felt a lot more empowered and a reason to get up in the morning. Again, particularly during this lockdown, the fact that I've been doing this has made lockdown much more bearable than it would have been if I was just sat doing nothing. It drives you insane. It really does. And particularly if you do suffer with your mental health, it really doesn't help you. I can honestly tell you that. When we were in lockdown, the first one, I had nothing. I honestly had nothing. I couldn't think of anything to do. And I did feel incredibly lost. And we were getting up at stupid times and going to bed at stupid times. And it wasn't productive. It was making us feel worse. We were having fights. No, it wasn't good. And again, it isn't necessarily about making massive milestones. If you can do just baby steps, set out a realistic plan, or even set out a dream of what you want to do. So my dream is for me and Gareth to have a house where it's big enough where we can have kids. We'd like to have 2 if you know, if that's what's decided for us in this whole thing called destiny. We would like to get married. We'd love to have our dream wedding in Eam, the Plague Village, and we'd like to go to Disneyland or Disney World. Is Disney World Florida? I think Disney World is Florida. We'd love to go to the Florida Disney World for our honeymoon. And I realise when I first had that dream that where I was, it wouldn't get me there. So I had to take steps to get towards that dream. Baby steps at the start, but now I'm trying to hit those major milestones. So that's why I've set up the YouTube channel, so I can speak to you guys, which is amazing. And why I've set up the business, so I can achieve those dreams. And because of that, I feel so much more enthusiastic, more positive, and it has really helped me. I'm not saying anything in this vlog that I don't believe in. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you what's worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. Take that however you want to. If you, I don't know, if you want to set up a art project, if you want to write your own song and produce it and put it up on YouTube, look at what steps you have to take to get there, okay? It's not impossible. Like so many people say that dreams aren't possible, and it's that kind of negativity that really brings a person down. Trust me, I know, and that was really sassy and I loved it. I'm having so much fun. Just believe in your dreams. I've probably been watching far too many Disney videos and far too many Disney vlogs, but I firmly believe it, and that's why Tiana's one of my favourite Disney princesses, and Belle, they wanted so much more and they worked towards it, and that's what I want to do as well, you know? So it's not impossible. You've got this, okay? Dream big. Dream big. Number 3, I'm aware how long this video is going, but number 3, lean on other people. I'm not gonna say it. I really recommend this. I have a lot of wonderful friends. I have a lot of wonderful family members. And before, when I didn't really want to bother anybody with this, I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to talk to anybody because I felt like how I was feeling. I felt like a burden, and I didn't want to feel like a burden on my friends, my family, anybody. And more often than not, that's the major thing that makes people fall, feeling like a burden. And yeah, it's really hard to get over that milestone of thinking, maybe I'm not such a burden and maybe I do deserve help. But once you've hit that milestone and got over that hump, it's so much better. It's honestly the best thing you can do. When you're in that dark place and you won't let anybody in, and people get frustrated with you because you won't let them in, and you think, why am I not letting people in? That's why, because I feel like I don't deserve the help. It's a killer, and unfortunately it gets to a lot of people, and it's too late. So yes, I say this seriously. Learn to lean on people. Find the right people. Reach out to your friends. I have a group of wonderful girls that we have shared the same experiences, which is great, but it's not at the same time because they're horrendous experiences and I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. But the fact that I found these girls that I can speak to and they can relate to me, it really does make me feel so much better, and it makes you realise how loved you are and how wanted you are. It's the best thing I've ever done. And also with Gareth as well, like when I first met him, I'd been single for 6 years, and the relationship I had previously wasn't great, and it took a lot of time to trust him. It really did. But after I did, and I opened him up to everything that had happened to me, which He and a couple of other people are the only people that know what's the full story. Unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you guys because it's not nice. Also, it's privacy. But the fact that they know and I trusted them with that information, and they know how to make me feel better, they know how to be there for me, it's really important, okay? So, you know, take a chance sometimes, let people in, and you'll be amazed how much they can change your life, you know? And it means you don't have to be strong all the time. You can let somebody else just lift you up for a little while whilst you're feeling sad. I'm so sorry this took a turn, but I feel like this is really important. It's an important lesson, and it's an important hump to get over if you're suffering with these kinds of things, okay? If you need any help, like I said, I'm not medical grade, but, you know, I'm here to listen. I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt, I've got plenty of experience under my belt with this kind of thing. I'm 24 now, I think I know what I'm talking about. So if you do need advice or any help, you know, I am just a message away. Also, I have put links down in the description below to certain charities that can help you. Samaritans in mind. I recommend Samaritans particularly because I have a really good friend who used Samaritans, and I have another really good friend who is a volunteer for Samaritans. The work she does is incredible. They go through really in-depth training about different circumstances. They're there to listen at the end of the day, and a lot of them have gone through similar experiences to us, so they will 100% understand where you're coming from. So please, please, please reach out to somebody. If you can't speak to your friends and family, then reach out to maybe a charity like mine or Samaritans. Number 2, distractions. Now, I mainly put this in the video for somebody who is really low and really suffering. I had an app called Calm. I think it's called Calm, I'm not too sure. But what it basically does is, if you are feeling incredibly low and you feel like you're going to be a danger to yourself, go on Calm and it will give you activities to do for however long you need to distract yourself. Honestly, it's one of the best things I can recommend. Creating those distractions for yourself can be the difference between ending up in the hospital and not being here anymore, and learning how to cope and get rid of those bad habits, okay? So Calm, I can honestly recommend. If you don't trust yourself to make those distractions, then I 100% recommend an app like that. If you can come up with distractions like that, fantastic. Even if you have to come upstairs to your bed and lie in bed for a little bit, maybe lie in the dark for a little bit, then yes, absolutely. The most important thing is that you've made that distraction for yourself whilst you're feeling at your lowest point. And once you finish that activity, usually you feel calm enough to maybe call somebody, call the hospital, call whoever you need to call to tell them how you're feeling, okay? So number 2, absolutely. That's why it's so high on my list, because I've been there, I've done that, I've needed the distractions, and Calm was such a good distraction for me. The activities were really easy to do. Sometimes it was something as easy as counting 5 different things you can see in the room, starting with the letter C. List things you can see, taste, smell and touch. They're really good as well. Drawing pictures, listening to music, watching a video. It's dead easy stuff like that. It's not horrendously strenuous for your mental capability or your physical capability. So I'd 100% recommend something like that, or any distractions you can think of. I know I keep going back to the colouring books, but I have so many colouring books. I've got a Sherlock one, I've got the serial killer ones, I've got a Buffy the Vampire Slayer one, which is amazing. I believe I've got a couple of Harry Potter ones, and I've got a Hobbit one as well, and they are fantastic for distracting me. when I was having my panic attack, I did start colouring, and it made me feel so much better and so much calmer. Distractions, very, very important. Always remember distractions. More like coping mechanisms, but yeah, I call them distractions. Number 1. Now this is the most important one, and you're probably going to hate me, and I know it's a really hard thing to do, but number 1 for me is communication. Now I have 2 different forms of communication I'm going to talk about. Number 1 is self-communication, and number 2 is communicating with other people. So by self-communication, I mean, if I'm going to have a bad time, I can often tell in my behaviour, in how I'm feeling. Sometimes my heart rate, if I'm panicking. Shortness of breath as well. So I've got my physical symptoms and I've got my mental symptoms. That is my body communicating to me that something bad is going to happen, or I'm going to have an off day, okay? Now it has taken so long for me to listen to my body. That's why I call it self-communication. It's important to learn what your reactions are, how fast they're gonna come into action. You need to learn that, and it will help you so much. So what I mean by that is, I will wake up in the morning and, as the saying goes, I rolled out the wrong side of the bed. It happens to the best of us. I will roll out the wrong side of the bed. So the way I say it to people if they ask me if I'm okay is, no, I'm not. My brain's decided that I'm going to have a sad day today, that I'm going to feel sad today, and that's okay. So immediately it tells other people that you've experienced this before, you've got it under control, and I usually follow it by, if I'm not, I will inform you. And that has helped me so much, particularly over Halloween when we were doing our scare event. So I would go in some days and I would feel like that, and then I would tell my show captain and my managers, and they would know whether they needed to help me or not. So that's basically what I mean about self-communication, and knowing that I have that ability now makes me feel so much better, because I can be aware when something bad is going to happen. I can inform Gareth when I feel like something bad is going to happen, and he can help me. Or if I'm at home, I can tell my parents, I can tell my family, and they also understand that as well. Now, moving on to communicating with other people, that's mainly what I mean. You need to create a language that you are comfortable with using. That's why I say my brain is telling me that I'm going to feel sad today, and that's okay, because I feel comfortable saying that. Before I even went on this journey of creating coping mechanisms for myself, I couldn't even say depression. That's how locked up I was about it. And I think it's because when I was a kid, depression wasn't really seen as something serious. It was kind of seen as a stereotype. It was seen as something stupid and something that didn't really exist. And it was also a case of, I'd hear a lot of stories about people who would say that they had depression, and they'd go off work at an X amount of days, but then you'd see them down skeggy having the time of their life, basically bad-mouthing where they worked, and they said they had depression. And unfortunately, because of that, when you do have that kind of thing going on, you think, well, hang on a minute, because people have got a bad stigma about it, they're going to think I'm useless, I can't do anything, and I'm using it as an excuse. And it really eats you up inside and makes you feel really, really bad. Also, throughout my life, it's been a case of things have always been happening. Always. Whoever I've been with, people have always had other things to worry about. Other worries, other stresses, other bad things going on in their life. And because I was a very observant child, I knew about this. You know, unfortunately, my family tried very hard to hide things from me, but, you know, smart little Lucifer. She knows. And because of that, I didn't want to bother them with my problems. It happens, but because I've learned to communicate, I actually went home last year on my own. They thought I was pregnant. They thought I was going to tell them that I was pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I'm still not pregnant, I swear. Mum and Dad, if you're watching this, I'm not pregnant. My God. Can you imagine what kind of Christmas that would be? Oh, by the way, we got another mouth to feed. Happy Christmas, Mum and Dad. Oh, God. Where was I going with this? Yes, communication. So I went home to my family and I told them that I'd been to the doctors and I was diagnosed with depression. I was on medication. And I was just very honest with them. And it was hard. It was really hard, but they were so unbelievably understanding. They really were. And it made me feel so much better and suddenly made me realise that, hang on a minute, maybe I should have spoken to somebody, but I didn't because, you know, I didn't want to be selfish. So, like I said, communicating with other people, I know it is so hard and you feel like there's a wall in your throat, and whenever you try and talk about it, it hits that wall in your throat and you can't. And you get choked up about it. The worst thing for me is when people ask if I'm okay and then I start tearing up and it's like, oh my God, I'm really not okay. If other people feel like that, please pop it down in the comments below because it's more common than you think it is. There's no magic genie that can help you get over that hump. There's no one who can do it for you, unfortunately. It's like weight loss. Nobody can do it for you unless you go and get liposuction. In that case, someone is quite literally doing it for you. I don't know. You do you. Nobody can wave a magic wand and make your anxiety go away about talking to people. They can't. However, let me tell you from somebody who wishes they'd have spoken about multiple things. You are worth it. You are important. Whatever anybody else has said or called you, they're idiots, they're jealous, they're stupid, they don't know your story like you do, okay? I don't know your story, unfortunately. Like, if I could, I would solve everybody's problems in the world because I know how horrible this thing can be, and learning to live with it is like grief. You don't get over it, you learn to live with it and learn different coping mechanisms, different ways of living with it, and yeah, there's no magical way to stop it, and unfortunately it is a thing that you have to live with. And I'm so sorry if you are struggling with that. I really am, from the bottom of my heart, because I know how horrible it can be, what it can make you think and what it can make you do, okay? But like I said, let me just tell you, you're important, you are loved, you're an incredible human being, and the world wouldn't be the same without you in it. It really wouldn't. No matter what you think, no matter how small your actions are, your actions would have caused some good in the world, okay? You're not Hitler. He was a pretty bad guy. My point is, you are worth the help. You are worth the time from other people. And maybe I'm saying this just so I can clarify it to myself, but if anybody's listening, even if it is just my friends and family, like, you are important, you are loved, you're an incredible human being, and you deserve all the help you can get. You are a unique person, and it's like crushing a flower, such a unique flower, that it's criminal, it's wrong. Don't crush that flower. Don't. If you're thinking about it, then, you know, maybe think about all the people that care, all the things you've done, all the achievements you've done, no matter how big or small they are. They're still achievements. You have still shaped the world in some way. I really can't stress this enough, how important you are. No matter who you are important, okay? And whoever you are, wherever you are, I'm listening. I love you, and just look after yourself because you are so important. Please seek the help you need if you need help. If not, that's great. If you've come out of this and you've developed coping mechanisms and you're like me, you're living day to day and you take one day at a time, then congratulations, I am so proud of you. If you're on medication, congratulations for going and getting help. One of the best things to do with medication, if you're like me and you forget to take it sometimes, write it down on your phone. So write down the dates that you've taken it, and honestly, when you look back at what you've done to make yourself feel better, it feels like an achievement in itself, you know? No matter what small thing you do to make yourself feel better, you have done that, okay? Nobody else has done it for you. If I've helped you to do it, fantastic. I'm just here to do my job, you know? I want to share my journey with people. I really want to share my journey with people because I hate that there's a stigma about mental health, and we should speak about it a lot more often. We should speak about it like it's a cold, like it's a fracture. You know, I've got a fractured ankle, I've got Raynaud's, I've got depression. It's taken a long time to get there, but I've got there. It's a word at the end of the day, not to be feared. If you've got it, you've got it, and the fact that you're still here and you're still fighting the good fight, then, you know, kudos to you. You've done it. I say that people who feel broken, there's this thing, I don't know if it's in China or Japan, but when a pot breaks, they cover the cracks with gold and stick it back together. Now think about how beautiful those pots look with all those cracks filled with gold. You're a pot with cracks filled with gold. You are golden. You are a piece of art, you know? You are beautiful, and forget what everybody else has said. I have, you know, I've been called every name under the sun. I've been told everything under the sun. Every horrible thing. I'm still here. I don't know how, but I'm still here, okay? And if I can do it, you can definitely do it, okay? So, I'm sorry this got so deep. This got so incredibly deep, and I'm so sorry. That was basically my video about mental health and coping mechanisms. I really hope it helped. I only request one thing, okay? And it's not even about getting out there. It's not about getting my name out there. Please share this video if you can. There are a lot of people out there who are suffering with this, unfortunately, and if seeing this video can stop them from doing the wrong thing and get them to seek help, then I am forever grateful. I'm forever grateful to you for sharing this information. If it's helped you, fantastic. Again, I'm going to put all the charities in the link below that you can speak to. There are so many out there. If you want to drop me a message, that's absolutely fine. If you want to drop anyone else you love and care about a message about how you're feeling, then absolutely do that. Please do that. If this has helped you to do that and find the courage to do that, then I will go and drink a bottle of wine. But yes, please, 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 I am asking you from the bottom of my heart, if you can, share this out. We need to beat this stigma that mental health shouldn't be a thing we talk about. We should absolutely 100% talk about this issue. It affects so many people, and unfortunately, because the world is the way it is and politicians are the way they are, the waiting list to get seen to or spoken to by a GP or to get counselling is horrendously long. It is really, really long. So if I can get this video out there to enough people who are still waiting on that list, that can maybe help them to create some good, positive practices with coping mechanisms for now whilst they're waiting, then absolutely fine. Great, good, I've done my job, okay? I'm so incredibly passionate about this, guys. I will, you know, if things do kick off, I will be doing a lot of charity work around Mind, around Samaritans as well. If you know any charities that I can speak to about maybe doing some charity work for them, then please just pop it down in the comments below. I'd love to get a conversation going about this. I'm so glad that you came to this video, guys. I'm so thankful for your support and your love. It means the world to me. I'm sorry if I don't reply to anyone at the moment. I am currently making an army of bauble mice. That's not the way I wanted that to sound, but we're gonna roll with it anyway because they're cute. I am currently working on a lot of orders at the moment for Christmas, so I am going to be busy with that until Christmas. If you want to support me with my shop, I am Psycho Koala Creations on Etsy. I do little pumpkin, needle felted Christmas decorations. I've done a little snowman that's made of pumpkins and he's called Jack and he's really cute. I do fairies of Disney princesses. I do the baubles with the mice in as well. I'm not taking commissions at the moment. I will be taking them in January just because I've got so much to do. Again, please, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, pop a comment down below just to say how you're feeling. If you're having a good day, great. What you've been up to, please tell me everything, as long as it's not going into certain categories, then I'm sorry I can't listen to you on that one. This is a family friendly, well, YouTube channel as much as it can be with someone like me at the helm. So yes, thank you so much, guys. I'll finish talking your ear off now. I hope you've had a good day. If not, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.